being libelled. It might come up. I mean, you're always worried about libelling people, but what about when you're libelled? Now, I had a complicated story. Well, did I have a complicated story? No, my stories are straightforward, but the person's life was complicated, it seemed, about an entrepreneur in Harlow, who I'd written stories about this entrepreneur in Harlow who was part of, had a charitable trust, but did some filming as part of another job they had. And I thought a young man going places in a sort of self-publicising way, Twitter, etc. And in a modern world. And then but wrote a story that he'd made Tommy Robinson, a far right guy, as a chair of his charitable trust to dish out money, £100,000 to dish out, etc., etc. Which the whole story looked a bit phony, but I wrote the story and as somebody else said, well, you're making the man who did jail for mortgage fraud goodwill ambassador of your charitable trust, and that's for them to say. But I wrote the story, etc. And it's one of these things that, because it was Tommy Robinson, and it was Tommy Robinson, Hope Not Hate had a look at not only the whole thing, I had a look at the guy from Harlow and all these websites and Twitter accounts, and thought, what is this all about? And then because he gave sponsorship and awards to different film festivals, including the Edinburgh Short Film Festival, they then contacted Edinburgh Evening News, and they contacted the Short Film Festival, who said, are you happy to share a platform with Tommy Robinson? And then they withdrew, and others withdrew, and the whole tumbled down like a deck of cards. And I wrote a few more stories saying about that, and checking out some facts. I think I checked out, because the guy said he had a Nottingham office, and that he had to close down the Nottingham one afternoon because of people protesting outside. So actually, in a piece of collaboration for Hyperlocals, I got somebody from Pat from the West Bridgeford Wire and said, can you pop in and see check out the office? And he did check out various aspects of it. However, a long way, 2 minutes and 10 seconds into this film, on Twitter a few days ago, or a few days after I wrote the story, somebody from the BBC put on Twitter that just took the Nottingham chunk out of a story and said, which Nottingham journalist did we send round to Nottingham journalist did we send round to the office? Hashtag didn't happen. So somebody with the BBC, from the Midlands area, has now said that I made up that part of a story. Saying as a journalist, I'm made up. What's the word? Lied. Fabricated. Call it what you will. Economical with the truth. No, I made it up. That's what they said. And after an email exchange, saying, I had to do the thing. Please remove. I said actually it was, Pat Gamble from the Wedge Bridgeford Wire. I said, could you retract this, please? And it took a little while, but eventually on email, he deleted the tweet and said, I'm sorry. And actually, his reason, excuse, was there's been so much fake from our end. There's been so much fake news with multiple Twitter accounts, etc., that I thought yours was a fake news, my lord. So there we are. Now the question would be, do you take that further? Do you take it for the BBC, compliance, whatever they call it? Do you just go, right, guy made a mistake. Hey, we all make mistakes, You might say to yourself, well, yeah, I make mistakes, but I wouldn't go and, defame another journalist on Twitter. Or can you, you might have gone, could you follow for a DM, please, or whatever. But so that's a judgment you've got to make. Do you say, oh, actually, that's my business. I need to stand up for myself. And it depends what degree of how you make manifest the way you stand up for yourself. So that's where I've left it at the moment. It's all mulling. But I guess the mess of hyperlocals is sometimes you've got to stand up for yourself, and don't let people, this fake news business. No, this is my business. This is my, this is what I do. This is what pays the bills, and so I'm not gonna, in some ways you just go, how dare you, in that way, and not sort of maybe you want to shrug it off. There we are, but it's up to you.